Hello, today is April 24th. It's Friday, which means we're doing nonsense, but we're also doing social and robot. So that should be pretty exciting because usually those are the more fun categories, I think. Social, maybe not so much, but robot is always fun.
Social is always sad funny.
Yeah.
And
That's a good way of sad funny.
the first story is a good example of that because, as usual, Facebook is deciding what's real and what isn't. And they're taking steps to make sure that you understand that.
Facebook will start warning users who engaged with harmful misinformation. So, I guess if you're reading Facebook and you read something or interact with something that then later is flagged, Facebook is going to say, hey, you looked at this thing, just letting you know that thing is not real.
Chris, you can't see this, but this is such a good lesson on like the importance of color and style. Because the Guardian in poop brown and like neon blue does not work at all.
You see, it's like yellow on my screen. You know,
Yeah, it's
normal.
terrible. That color scheme is terrible with the red and blue inverted. So most of this actually makes sense. They're talking about people who are posting cures. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Or people saying that you don't need to lock down. Although a lot of people in our comments are the anti-lockdown people.
You need to lock down. You really do.
You're just going to trigger more long, rambling comments.
My question is like, you're interested in this channel, but you weren't already kind of in quarantine prior to all of
Oh, they are. They are.
You know what I mean? Like,
They got nowhere to go.
Was it the involuntarily celibate? What is about the involuntarily? Like an inquan?
You coined a new phrase. Well, we all know that Facebook, even if you're not logged into Facebook, has a profile on you. And if you have a Facebook account and you log out, you think, oh, I'm logged out. They're not tracking me anymore. Nothing could be further from the truth. And as the world figured that out, some people said, wait a minute, I should sue. And Facebook, of course, said that's nonsense. We have every right to do this. Well, a court has decided.
Federal Appeals Court has allowed the Facebook privacy lawsuit to proceed. So some of the claims the judge has actually shot down. But the judge has said, no, the people here have demonstrated that they have a right to privacy. They have a vested interest in maintaining their privacy. They logged out of your platform, but you track them anyway. They might have a case here, at least on that one small part of what they were claiming. That wasn't everything in the lawsuit. So a lot of the things that were in the lawsuit did not stand, but those did.
I imagine this lawsuit will still be going on around 2030.
Yeah, probably.
And they'll be bankrupt. Not Facebook, the
people are
litigators.
suing.
Because Facebook is super powerful. And perhaps in a moment of hubris, Zuckerberg said to himself, you know what? I'm so powerful, I'm going to recreate money. And the actual people in charge, the people in charge of the money, smacked him. They smacked him hard. And they let him know that he's just an asshole running a social media site.
Facebook-backed Libra cryptocurrency project is scaled back. After months of criticism, the cryptocurrency is moving ahead finally, but with significant revisions. Basically, Facebook wants this to be like a Venmo type platform. And so they've said to regulators, we just want like Venmo type functionality, and we want to make sure that like Facebook India is not stealing from like Facebook US or anything like that. So we're going to use the blockchain to keep track of this. That's it.
But originally they wanted their own coin.
Yeah.
And that was the problem. So they're like, oh, you know what? We'll just tie it to the local currency. So you still get to be in control.
Yeah.
And the people maybe will go for that.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. The
I can
Fed
see
is
that'd be
also
useful
doing...
for like the marketplace on Facebook.
Yeah, that's what they want to use it for,
Right,
they
yeah.
say.
Yeah.
But then they want to process payments for you probably. It'll grow.
It's like a cancer. It's like we just need a few cells and then we can sort of grow, and then it's like, oh man, it's wrapped around our spinal cord now. We can't pull this out easily.
But the Fed is doing
Bezos
their
model.
own crypto. And I don't think they want competition. So we'll see. There is a little bit of alarm, and I hesitate to even mention this because I don't want people to go crazy and stampede, but I think that the story's out there. We didn't include it because it's not really technology, but meat packing plants are basically petri dishes, and people are getting sick and they're shutting them down. So you might get a bit of a meat shortage, but it's not really a meat shortage. The meat's there. It's just getting it into the store and getting it to the people. So what can you do aside from that? Well, it turns out some people were real visionaries in this world.
Meat and veg vending machines do roaring trade in this crisis that we find ourselves in. UK food producers find innovative ways to sell produce during. Look at those roasts.
Those blue
What sort of
that's
UK
so bizarre.
family is going to buy that? Is that a thing? Do people like? Do you buy that?
It's roast a beast.
I watched a YouTube video where a guy so he was testing the theory, does marinade actually do anything to meat? Because a lot of people say that it doesn't. So he made a marinade with this bright blue food dye and put chicken cuts in it and then fried them and ate them, blue chicken. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm sure it tasted fine, but bright blue chicken is just terrible. Like, everything in your mind is like, that's bathroom cleaner. Don't eat that.
What? Oh.
It looks like it would be delicious, but it's not.
They tell you actually to paint your kitchens or dining rooms blue or purple because that's like a trigger in the human mind for like, don't eat that if you're trying to lose weight.
Oh, I was going to say, why would you want your kitchen to make you think about not eating?
Well, yeah, if you're like having a problem with binge eating.
Well, yeah, I definitely got that
I would know
vibe from
anything
it.
about that in quarantine.
But and the marinade did not penetrate the meat more than like a couple of millimeters. It's only on the surface.
I was going to say, it's like, if by that logic, barbecue's not a thing, but barbecue's very much a thing. And oh my gosh, it's delicious.
Well, smoking is different.
And it goes really far into the meat. Like a good smoking, it goes pretty far.
Yeah, this was just, like, I think he gave it like a 6-hour marinade or something.
Enjoy the meat while it lasts.
Well, Brian did turkey once, and that was a magical experience.
Brine is the alternative. You should brine instead of marinate
Oh, okay.
because the salt will penetrate.
Well, a brine turkey is best turkey.
So that has nothing to do with anything except for the blue meat. But, now you know about it.
Because I've been eating cereal for 3 days, and the only thing I can think about is good food.
So the Antarctica thing, I was watching the special on Amazon Prime about that, which is pretty interesting. 6 months without any fresh food.
Ugh.
And when the trucks or the airplane comes in the summer, when everything opens back up, they're just like stuffing fruit in their face. It's like, I just want an apple. Everybody's avocado is basically like everybody's like, I have to have an avocado. I will kill you for an avocado. So we saw the simulation. If you haven't seen it, go look it up, of someone sneezing in a grocery store and the particles just blasting everywhere.
We talked about that for like 30 minutes last week because it's fascinating
and terrifying.
Yeah,
absolutely terrifying because this invisible death is just bouncing around. It's like a golf ball in a tile bathroom.
I'm living in a Stephen King novel.
And it turns out that computer simulation can't just tell us how the virus is going to kill us, but it can look at our herd behavior and what's going to happen on May the 1st when everything opens back up.
New MIT machine learning model shows relaxing the rules is going to cause a spike in cases. So, the inquan must continue.
I think it will here.
You think?
Like state by state. Yeah, I think people will continue.
Well, I don't
We've
know.
not hit our peak yet, I don't think.
If they
Like,
open
not
things
far.
back up, people are going to go to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it has to not be open back up for. To be honest, I might get my hair cut if they open it back up right now, because I hate the hair on the back of my neck is driving me crazy.
Rue
Is it
needs
worth
to get her
dying
nails
for?
done.
Maybe not.
Maybe.
But yeah, it seems like maybe reopening sooner. Now this is where we're going to get a lot of those comments.
Yeah.
If people are going to be like, "We should open now. This is unconstitutional." Maybe, I don't know. All I
It's
know
not
is
unprecedented.
when I saw the people at Lowe's as a couple, it made me lean more toward the authoritarian side, which I do not easily lean toward. But I'm like, you idiots.
It's a public health thing. It's not like,
Yeah, well, I love giving people personal freedom. But if you're this stupid, What are we gonna do?
Did you see anyone with their kids there? Because like when I went a
Yes.
few weeks ago, like
Yes.
people had just carts full of children.
There was-
that seems especially irresponsible. If you
There
don't.
was a family of 5.
Yeah.
And
see.
here's the kicker. Here's the thing that made me just want to stab them and take the risk. All wearing masks.
I don't understand. Like if you have 2 parents there, like keep one parent at home with the kids and one person goes out. Like
There must have been an incident because the time that I went to Lowe's, they actually had a Lowe's employee standing at the door, and there was a clan like that approached the door, and he was like, no. One person, like pick one person out of your group, everybody else goes back to the car. Because I guess he could see that there was more than one adult in there, and it was like, all right, I mean, it's fine that you're all here, but all of you but one has to go back to the car, and the other one has to get everything else.
It'd be funny if they picked the youngest child.
with a list that they can't.
Something must have happened. Like the Lowe's employee must have been accosted, and it was like, this is above my pay grade, and they're like, all right, you know what? We just don't care.
I don't know. But they were clearly together. There was one shopping cart and 5 people wearing masks.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Or they snuck in, like they came in different waves.
There was nobody monitoring. Now, the sign was like, you had to literally step over it to get in the door.
They couldn't read. You can't hold that against them, I mean.
Maybe we need a speaker.
You remember, there's when I was doing research on this place, there were people that were complaining about the mandate that they hook into the public sewage system around here. They were like, no, I just want to poop in the latrine. I don't want to hook into the city's poop system. Why are they making me hook into the city's poop system? I wonder if people will look back at the people that are like that and it's like, no, this is just disease control. It's like, you have to do this because medical technology has not caught up yet. Like the people that were like, I want to have a house in the city with a latrine. I don't want, to
I
tie
want an
into
outhouse that I just dump in the street.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, what? That doesn't even make sense.
I keep going back to this because I really enjoyed the show. But in Antarctica, when you stay there for the winter, there's the mandate that like as little footprint as possible, so it's carried in and carried it out. All the poop goes out on shipping containers at the end of the winter.
Hashtag leave no trace.
Yeah.
Nice.
What does the poop go to after? Do they just dump it somewhere? Or?
When they bring it back here, I don't know.
See, I thought you were going not Antarctica, but Avenue Q, where it's like, we'll use the poop as a shield against radiation. And it's like, nothing goes to waste.
I mean, they literally put it on a shipping container on one of those Hercules troop transports or on a ship that shows up. So I imagine they just dump it somewhere. Probably just drop it in the ocean.
A lot of alpine places, like I think if you climb like Mount Whitney here in the US, you have to carry a wag bag and then carry your poop out. I don't know where you put it after. I assume that they have some sort of waste disposal at the park, but
you keep it as a keepsake for that
Yeah.
time that you climbed the peak.
They have a special machine that freeze dries it into a memento. It's like those pennies that get ground into a little thing. Well, it's your poop bag, and then you get a souvenir.
Well, those people who just simply will not stay home, you got to do something, right? And how do we deal with them? We turn more and more to our robot friends to control these assholes.
Drones are going to be used to monitor fever, crowds, and that kind of thing from above. So we saw this happening in other countries, but the drone had a loudspeaker on it, and it was like, hey, you have a fever. Go home.
But I imagine since they're talking about the cameras aspect, it's going to be thermal cameras, right?
Yeah.
The fever.
I would think,
monitor
yeah.
fever. So that's interesting. It's funny how, and it is terrifying that what we saw China doing just 6 months ago is now completely normalized because of the crisis.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about that, but at the same time, family of 5.
well, we've not reached the point where we're welding people into their apartments, but I hope we don't get there.
But I wouldn't mind if they welded those people into their apartment.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that happens in the world, and we look at it through the lens of the Level 1 news, and it's like, they say that China's so different, but it's like we end up in the same place a lot of the time.
China's just
Yeah.
the front runner. And again, they're just in your face about it.
I really the Chinese approach where it's like a head on, like, no, some people are too stupid. We have to deal with this head on. And it's like,
I still say no, but they're wearing me down. Elon Musk makes a lot of really grand claims. He says a lot of stuff that probably isn't ever going to happen and really bites off more than he can chew sometimes. But then again, sometimes he nails it. And he seems to have some blinders about all those that he misses and celebrates all that he... I guess that's a good way to live, right? It's working out for him. But this one, I don't think so. I'm going to say nope. Not going to happen.
Tesla's robotaxi plan is still on for this year, pending regulatory approval, says Elon Musk. If you've been living under a rock... Huh? Do what?
Who's going to be riding in the taxis?
Yeah, that's a great question.
It's not even a smart business decision.
It's going to be corpses.
Well, the prediction was that he would have 1 million robotaxis on the road by the end of the year. And let me get out the Elon Musk translator. And what he's saying is a software update will update every Tesla that we've ever shipped to be robotaxi capable. But he's now saying, regulatory approval. I don't know if they'll approve it, but we're going to have the software.
But that's level 5, right?
Yeah.
But level 5 is it's not a real thing yet.
Yeah. They just barely got the shoebox of electronics that might possibly maybe enable level 5, but it's just not here yet.
And admittedly, a lot more people die piloting their cars.
Yeah.
But people are dying in the self-driving Teslas.
Did we had the story? The next story should have been the California 1 billion story. If it's still here, California's Highway Patrol has saved $1 billion because people aren't driving because there haven't been wrecks.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I included that or not.
I don't remember either.
I saw that story
see
earlier
it
this week. I don't know if it was in here.
Well, we got to pour one out for one of our robot friends who is no longer going to be with us. I don't think anybody's going to care.
Nope.
But we should, at least mark the passing.
Say goodbye to Samsung's S-Voice. The server shut down June 1st, 2020. Now, if only they would get rid of Bixby.
I hate Bixby so much.
I cannot get rid of Bixby. And I hit that button by accident so many times. And it's like, you want to install me finally? No, Bixby. I never want that.
If you're using your camera, it's really easy to hit, and it's frustrating.
I would sooner take Tay than Bixby.
Yeah, I would take all of the personalities.
Tay would at least be interesting.
Yeah, entertaining.
Bixby is by far the worst assistant.
Yeah.
Is Bixby gendered?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've never actually installed it. I'm not sure.
Let's not find out.
One of the remaining jobs that people can still do is technology. Thank God. Or else we might not be doing this. But more and more AI encroaches on our part of the world.
AI spots critical Microsoft security bugs 97% of the time. So Microsoft realized, hey, we've got this entire history of the whole Windows operating system and Office. We could take instances where we had code that has resulted in a major security vulnerability, use that as input training. And that's exactly what they did. So they set up a really complex model, but now they can run it against all of their current code bases, and 97% of the time it is finding viable, high-risk areas of code that have security issues.
How frustrating is that if you work on the internal coding team at Microsoft, and then there's the AI team that's like, yeah, listen, bud, we found more problems with your stuff. And you're constantly getting in fights.
They're probably happy about it because there is no testing team at Microsoft.
Yeah, they were all fired.
It's just the AI now.
That means Windows is going to get better, right? Right?
We're the testers. The Animal Crossing mania has driven record sales of the Nintendo Switch, which probably isn't hurt by people being trapped at home, because that is one of the cheaper consoles that you can get, and you don't need any other hardware to play it. You can just lay on your couch and play your Switch. That, along with Nintendo's lackluster production policies, has led to a bit of a shortage. And it's not just that, it's some evil robots.
Resellers using checkout bots are driving the Nintendo Switch shortage. A lot of people working from home, a lot of people playing a lot of Nintendo Switch games. So right now they're vastly overpriced on eBay. So if you go to get one on eBay, you're going to pay $200-$300 above retail. So because of that, enterprising people have written bots to buy them to then list them on eBay. It's a cyclical game of hot potato.
I had a friend complaining about this earlier this week. She's like, "You can't find switches." And I was like, "What?" I didn't like believe her, but I mean, here we are.
Yep.
What a strange thing.
So they'll snap them up whenever Best Buy or Walmart or whoever gets a shipment. It knows how to buy them and check out and get by all the captchas and everything. Buy as many as it'll let you. Pop it right on eBay for you, automated, and you pick up $200-300.
Yeah.
Not bad. Now, AI bias is certainly one of the most controversial topics that we talk about. There's usually several comments about that because AI cannot be racist, and yet it is. It's a paradox. And the problem is, the AI gets trained on data that doesn't know about certain things, doesn't see certain skin colors, whatever, doesn't know certain cultural things, and then it outputs things that we would consider insensitive, but really it's just robot logic. It just makes sense to the robot. So how do you fix it? Well, some people have proposed an interesting solution.
AI researchers propose bias bounties to put ethics principles into practice. And so this would be a bounty, basically, for modifying an input data set to expose the biases that are in the data set that is being used to train the AI.
If, for example, you find an AI that's biased against blue people, So I don't know. I on one hand, I guess that is a good way to do it because it motivates people, gives them a reason to find it. But on the other hand, in this world where everybody's looking for any reason to be angry, I think we're empowering those people.
Yeah. Imagine a data set where you took everybody that has died as a result of a meteor impact throughout history and fed that to an AI. And then it's like, here's a picture of somebody. How likely are they to die from a meteor hit? And it's like, oh, all of the people that have died from meteor hits so far have been white. There's a 0 chance this black person is going to die from a meteor hit.
That's racist.
Yeah. It's like, those things are not related to one another.
Every week we like to talk about some Internet of Things product that's stupid and you shouldn't have because it's an Internet of Things product. And the more valuable the thing that it's connected to that Internet of Things product, the more stupid it is to have. And some people would argue this is the most valuable thing that you could put in one. Now, I would not argue that.
Well, the thing that the thing is lying in is pretty valuable on its own.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Of no value. But again, some people would disagree.
There's at least the organ harvesting value.
They're too small.
Hackers made the Snoo smart bassinet shake and play loud sounds. This is a contraption that you put your baby in that is connected to the internet.
It is $1,300. More money than sense.
You can get a really good gaming computer for that.
And just avoid children altogether.
Just put your headset on the baby and put the mouse in front of him and let him play a game.
Now, this is a little bit of a clickbait. It's been patched, and they had to go to some pretty great lengths to do this.
Yeah.
So, unless you were just a really terrible person, why would you ever do this? But I guess those people do exist.
Yeah.
So, also, the internal checks and balances of this thing wouldn't let it, shake your baby too violently. I guess there could maybe be some hearing damage.
It has some mechanical safeties, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd imagine your baby would be upset pretty quickly, so you would come to see what was going on.
Well, no, you could turn off the communication from your baby. So if you're depending on the baby monitor built into this thing, you might never hear.
I'm more excited about
I guess if you have $1,300 to spend on this, you probably have a massive palace that you live in, so you can't hear the baby from another room.
The housekeeper comes and it's like, the bassinet's playing Russian propaganda to the baby again. I don't know what's going on.
Your baby's in the pool house. And you're in the main dining hall. You might never know.
The East Wing.
I gotta say, I've been thinking about getting a TV for my living room. And this is a huge feature that I think will be great to have because I usually do this with a box cutter myself when I buy a large object. and it's super effective. But imagine how much better it's going to be if it's designed for it.
Samsung redesigned the packaging of its luxury TVs so the boxes can be turned into cardboard cat houses and book racks. So they get a picture of both there.
Look how happy he is.
This actually, the cat is completely unaffected by the color balance, and everything actually looks a little bit nicer in blue.
Yeah, this looks like a very Spartan home in my version of it.
So yeah, they have all the boxes are marked with ways that you can cut them, and I don't know if they're probably serrated or whatever, and you break them down and turn them into other things.
That's really cool.
It's a great idea. That
It's like a
switched it to
bookshelf.
blue. That's the weirdest possible way that could be set up.
Oh, it's a magazine rack.
Little bookshelf. Yeah, not a bad idea. Probably doesn't cost them a lot of money, and got them a nice little bit of PR there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope
A
everybody-
mention on a on a backwater, no name, news
Well, I think
program.
they got other coverage. Now here in
They're
the
like,
U.S.,
Did you see we were featured on Level 1 text?
they're,
all really
they're in like the
excited.
board meeting.
Yeah.
We've made it. We've
We have
made
to
it.
do this more. But really, they could just throw us like $1,000 to do it every week.
Linode.com.
Store.level1 text.
Here in the U.S., people are storming government buildings and crying out they don't want to be locked down anymore. But so far, I think
Feel
it's
it.
been relatively sane.
Nonviolent.
Yeah.
Not got-
Nonviolent
Overall,
is the
yeah.
word you're looking for.
Not gotten too out of control. Now, in other parts of the world, that's not the case. Some people, you tell them that they're locked down, and they respond with extreme violence.
Police officer's hand chopped off with sword while enforcing the lockdown due to the thing. So this was in India, and there was a road checkpoint, and there was a van full of dudes, and they were like, "That's weird. Do you have a travel permit for why you're here?" And they said no, and then there was like a 2 or 3 hour standoff, and then one of the dudes pulled a sword and chopped off the police officer's hand. Now, good news, he gets to keep his hand. They spent 7 hours sewing it back
Wow.
on, but yeah.
I think the standoff happened after, when they were trying to arrest that guy.
Eh.
But the number one warning sign when you're doing a traffic stop and there might be some issues is that a guy's got a sword.
Where was he hiding it? Like, how did you not notice?
We should know from the Firefly movie that people with swords are not a good idea.
Now, that was the Sikh community, right? Oh, Singh.
Yeah.
No,
something
Singh was the
like
guy's
that.
name.
Yeah.
I think it was Sikh. I don't know.
The
but
Sikh minority warrior sect known as the Nihans.
Yeah, the Sikh. So the Sikh, part of their religion is there's a dagger that you carry around your neck at all times. I wonder how that goes with the TSA.
Not well.
You got to give that up, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, don't they usually, like, there's always the memes about Sikhs who are like, oh, I'm about to be randomly selected because they wear turbans as well.
yeah, they
They're
were
always
never part
randomly
of.
selected.
They're not part of like the Islamic culture. Obviously, they got their own thing going on.
Yeah, but, it's close enough for a TSA agent. They don't care.
No, but they've got the dagger. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's like you never give up your dagger. That's some connection to God. So I wonder how that plays out. And clearly, they're willing to go to violence. And I think this is sort of like an extremist kind of Sikh, but
Yeah.
still,
You will not tell me that I'm locked down. I will claim your hand. Oh, okay, calm down.
You think that he was just flailing wildly, or was he targeting as like, all right, I'm not going to kill you, but I'm going to take your hand, which is impressive if that's what he was doing, or was it just like the hand went up and
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
maybe.
don't know.
defensive wound?
Was it a clean cut? I have so many questions that I don't really want
It took
answers
7
to,
hours of
but-
surgery, so it must have been a lot of damage.
How about okay, but this blows my mind that like we live in a world where some guys are cruising around carrying swords, and not that far away there's a surgeon who can reattach a hand.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That guy should have been living closer to the Tiger King guy that lost his arm. Thanks for that, by the way.
Oh, did you watch it?
No, I haven't watched all of it, but it's
You've
just,
watched part now.
it's like a slow moving train wreck.
But it's a girl. But the crazy thing about that is like she was just fine with it. She came back to work with the tigers.
Oh, I was talking about the guy that lost part of his arm.
There's multiple people.
I don't even remember that part. Well, a lot of businesses cannot go on as planned during the lockdown. Obviously, you need people to be there physically, and they're trying to move everything online. Now, we've seen, all the big tech companies, they're doing their conventions and stuff online. That kind of makes sense, but sometimes it doesn't make sense to do your thing online. I don't really understand this one at all.
No.
Wineries are offering virtual tastings amid the shutdown due to the thing. The virtual tastings, yeah. So, I Googled one of these and watched it, and it's just some dude telling you what he's experiencing, and it just doesn't do anything.
There are already a ton of YouTube channels about this.
Yeah.
There are people who just drink whiskey on YouTube and tell you about it.
So, mail order is, I guess, permitted because delivery is permitted. At least it let me get to the part in the checkout where it's pick your state, and it didn't say no, you can't do that.
Oh, that's interesting.
So,
But yeah,
I've noticed-
Kentucky allows alcohol shipping now.
They do?
Yeah, that was like something that got passed through at the start of this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so is that permanent?
I'm not sure. I think it was an executive order, so I don't know if that's just part of
See,
the thing lockdown.
I thought it
or-
was just delivery, not mail order.
No, I think you can get it through the mail now.
Well, it makes sense if you're going to do one. Why not do the other?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh, you got the Rona.
I've actually been fighting one for like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I
But you
know.
don't
It's
want
like,
to be like a pure disease. Yeah.
Every time I go out and then I come home and it's like, oh God, I feel weird. But then it's like, well, I know the incubation period is too long for that to be a thing. It's got to be in my head, right?
yes.
Hopefully. Or it's just, yeah, hopefully it's just allergies. Picked a bad time for it to show up because it's allergy season as well.
I've never been affected by allergies, but I know some people just get it later in life. Which
We had the cold snap, which killed everything. It's like, oh, it's springtime, and then it got below freezing, and everything died.
not my lawn. It was only made more powerful. It's like, it had to go through that period of tough times and made it stronger. We talked
Meanwhile,
about...
my pepper plants are all looking sad.
Well, it's just because you're a terrible gardener.
Yeah.
Uh,
True.
It was India, right, where they named the kids the two words we can't say.
Yes.
It was a boy and a girl, twins. And it just continues. People are going to keep doing this.
Sanitiser. Sanitiser is the new kid's name. This is their contribution in the fight. Spoiler alert, 20 years from now, that's actually the Antichrist, and they're going to sanitize the planet.
We're the germ. Yeah. What do you think how are they going to shorten that? Sanny?
Yeah, probably.
San?
Do you think if this was the Warhammer 40k universe, the Emperor would have cleansed the planet already? Would have sanitized the planet, if you will?
Well, that was the Exterminatus. So if you find heresy on a planet and it's too much trouble to get rid of, you just nuke it. The Exterminatus destroys the planet. So you mentioned the Tiger King, and after watching this, before the Tiger King, I felt this way, but after watching the Tiger King, I am completely anti-zoo. Those people are the worst people in the universe. We should not be doing this to the animals. And this certainly underlines that statement.
German zoo may have to feed animals to each other. Oh, they are saying that's a last resort.
But it's
Nervous
on the
laughter.
table.
Well,
Yeah.
it has to be. That kind of makes sense to me. Like, if you've got, fish in an aquatic section, and, you've got seals or something too, it makes sense that you might use the fish to feed them.
They brought that up because the penguins and the seals you can't just feed them kibble. They eat fish.
Yeah.
Where are you going to get fish shipped in from?
Yeah. It's a problem.
You think
they are running a fundraiser, so you can give them money, which maybe they can sort out their problems. But one of the things was a live baby panda stream is a thing that they're...
because the baby pandas don't get born that often.
Yeah.
And now oh, finally, we got these spring baby pandas. It's a miracle. Nobody's going to see them.
Yeah.
But I would be okay with these animals having to die if we just get rid of zoos, because Jesus, there's no reason for it.
I don't think it's either or. I think there can be ethical or better zoos. I don't think any of the stuff in Tiger King is probably a reflection on
All of
the
the zoos in
majority of
Tiger
zoos.
King were just awful. All of them.
Yeah.
But see, I don't think it's that much better at any zoo. I think when you break it down.
I mean, they have to do research and, public knowledge about why you conserve habitats and stuff is important as well.
See, that's the excuse they used.
Yeah, for Tiger King. Tiger King's garbage.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you saw the inside of other zoos, I don't think it's that much better.
Laid off zookeepers are watching the level 1 thing and can chime in below.
Well, so I have some friends who've worked in, like, not zoos, but what's the word I'm looking for?
Rescues?
Totally gone. T3.
Observatories?
No. They do fish.
Meat departments?
Aquarium. I've had friends who worked in aquariums. And theirs were all focused on, like, educating the public and raising money to, eventually release the animals that
but do
can
you
be
know about
released.
SeaWorld?
Yeah, that's the thing. That my friends were all pissed off about that. They're like, they found, like, the worst instance and then showcased it in a documentary. And now everyone's like, well, we should shut them down. It's like, would you know anything about whales if it wasn't for a zoo or an aquarium? Or
Well, let me put it to you like this. Here's the question. Let's say that you could save millions of lives and make the world a better place for other people like you, but you have to live in a cage and people watch you have sex. Are you up for it?
No, but I'm also a human.
Humans are animals.
Did you see the episode of Star Trek, The Menagerie? Because that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like aliens come along. It's like, oh, we'll preserve you. And it's like...
And it's just a matter of them being that much more advanced than us.
Yeah.
Because we think that we're all this high and mighty, like the best there is. But if something else comes along, I don't want to be in a tiger cage.
I don't think people will put any money toward conservation, though, if they don't see the immediate effects. I mean, look at the thing, the virus. People don't believe it until they actually see it show up on their shores.
Man, if we only had months and years to stockpile equipment like face masks and gowns and stuff that will literally keep for decades on end with no ill effects.
Man, if only we knew that, global climate change was a thing that was happening for decades and we haven't changed it because it's not really affecting us yet.
Well, I'll tell you what is affecting me. Frozen pizza shortage.
Have you tried getting any since this started?
I actually hate frozen pizzas. Like,
really?
Once every 6 months I'll buy one and I'm like, yeah, frozen pizza, and I'm eating it and I'm like, this is terrible. I wish I hadn't gotten this. This is just a salt lick.
You got to get the barbecue kind, barbecue chicken.
What brand?
I don't remember.
U.S. is running out of frozen pizzas amid the ongoing pandemic. Not just frozen pizzas, also a lot of frozen food.
We have a friend, you guys know who I'm talking about, who like subsists entirely on like pizza rolls and frozen pizza.
Oh, yeah.
What's he gonna do?
You know what? I think when it comes to it, he'll eat other foods.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Krista, you are a mushroom enthusiast.
Yes.
I've covered that many times, but you've never had an idea like this. This is incredible.
This is cool. I've seen this before. I'm going to read the headline. Is fungus the answer to climate change? Student who grew a mushroom canoe says yes.
She literally did grow a mushroom canoe.
The picture is incredible. It looks disgusting.
It floats. It's effective.
I mean...
Those are mushroom roots.
Here's the best thing about this...
mycelium.
This canoe, and I wish there were more pictures of it because I want to see what's going on. So... like you say, Krista, that's made of the mycelium. That's not the fruiting mushroom body that we're used to. That's not the thing that Mario eats. That's the root. So they built a frame and put the mycelium on it and hung it up in like a special, climate controlled place that mushrooms love. But when you go out on the water and this thing gets water, it fruits mushrooms. So you're cruising around and it's just sloughing off mushrooms everywhere. I want to see that. I need to see those pictures.
I wonder what kind of mushrooms they were growing. Does it mention it in the article?
It does mention the species, yeah.
Say something about that.
Because it's like their roots would grow together and they're buoyant and waterproof.
But this thing is currently alive. That is a living mushroom canoe right there. I do think they have to be careful about how they store it. I see there's a big fan here. I wonder if it needs like constant airflow or something.
It's got to be dried out to preserve it, otherwise it'll just rot.
But that is incredible. I don't know if I would trust it necessarily.
I was initially kind of disappointed because the picture makes it look like, oh, they've made, you know, a plastic bag surrounded by mushrooms as a canoe. But that wasn't what they did. It actually is just mushroom roots.
Well, there's a wooden structure.
Well, that was just to give it something to grow
to grow onto. Yeah, and that's still something that's biodegradable. So I mean, it's still a really amazing proof of concept.
Would you drive a mushroom car?
Probably. It's probably safer than, you know.
What would the
I
crash
don't know about
rating be on a
safer for
mushroom
that
car?
if someone crashes into you, but
There's
people
no
are upset
sports.
because they're missing the spring mushroom pick right now.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to go get them, right? I bet there's
Morels
a record
and
crop.
dryad saddle are kind of like two of the big ones that grow around here this time of year.
Oh, you know somebody's breaking quarantine and going and getting those.
Oh, I'm sure.
Probably making a ton of money, too, because I bet the market is, like, the demand has got to be huge, right?
Morels in particular, like they're a choice edible. I've never had them, but they apparently taste like steak. So people will already pay like a ton of money for a bag of them. And I'm sure that they're worth way more right now.
Oh, you should take root and go mushrooming.
I've never actually been able to find those. I've found just about every other like edible kind that grows around here, but I've never found a morel. Disappointing.
So there's no sports right now, and apparently people are taking that very poorly. But you got to think about the people who are involved with sports who aren't the players. What about the play-by-play announcers? What do they do during a quarantine? Some of them get interestingly creative.
The Los Angeles Times reports that Joe Buck, who is a sports announcer, I didn't know that when I read this, turns down a $1 million to provide play-by-play for a porn website. Oh, the pizza delivery man is getting out of the car and approaching the front door. Oh, the matriarch of the house has opened the door. She doesn't appear to be wearing any pants. Oh, she's fumbling around with her purse and can't find the payment.
Oh, no.
It sounds like a boot stuck in mud. So it turns out that he challenged people on Twitter to send him things to do play-by-play on. It's kind of like a fun little exercise, and they send him like, you know, videos of their kids playing t-ball or whatever. And some brilliant website was like, "Hey, we'll give you $1 million," but he turned them down.
Well, he didn't really turn them down. He said, get these other announcers and we'll all do an audition for it. And then, you know, whoever doesn't win, $10,000 goes to the charity of their choice, and then everybody else gets paid.
He knows that those guys are never going to do that.
He also said that those websites would be giving him his own money back, which took me a second to I was like, wait a minute, you're saying you pay for those? Oh, no.
Which is silly. You should never pay for that. Disney has shut down. We talked about Disney last week. I don't remember what the context was, though.
I thought we
I
covered
mentioned this
already.
story because it was a breaking story last week, but we've now got the details.
And
okay.
yeah, so tons of people at Disney. And what do you do with them? Well, you just send them home.
Disney World has furloughed 43,000 workers. They get to keep their health care through like November or December, but that's it. They're furloughed because it's going to take them through winter.
The question I had here, like, do you get unemployment for this?
They said that you have to apply for it, but they said they expected all of them to be eligible for it, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good. So it's like if you're not getting paid, but you have health care?
Yeah, I think the version of the article that I read said that the employees don't have to worry about their healthcare being canceled or something, but they will have to apply for unemployment.
Yeah. I wonder how much entropy is there when those rides are just not running.
Nature takes over quick,
Yeah,
I'd say.
exactly. So that's probably, it's going to be a lot of work to get that place up and running again. What about all that food?
It probably all went to waste because it's all spoiled by now.
Dark times. And speaking of darkness, the whole idea that certain forces are behind the virus. Now, it's one thing to think that maybe a biological lab designed to do this kind of thing might be involved. Maybe that's a little out there, maybe it's not. But radio waves, that's just not one that I can understand. And we definitely have commenters
Yeah.
who will defend the radio wave theory.
No. Come on.
It's okay if
makes
you have
sense.
theories. It's not okay to set fire to things.
20 suspected phone mast attacks over Easter. This has actually gotten kind of... There's a total of like 50 towers that have been damaged in the UK. So this is really, really rampant in the UK, apparently. Don't set fire to cell towers. Come on. That's
so
crazy.
bizarre. I've not heard of any of this happening in the US so far. But all of them are in the UK. I don't
We definitely
understand
have
it.
these people, though.
Russia's propaganda is more effective in the UK.
I watched a YouTube video, and this guy's whole channel. He's the guy that climbs those and fixes things at the top. And he has just a head cam. My palms were just like drenched by the time he was done. I was like, Jesus, I could never do that. That's crazy.
It's like, oh, the wind's really blowing today.
He does have, so they have like a braided steel cable that he attaches to with like a runner that goes up with him. And then he's got hooks that he just clamps and climbs everywhere, but still,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Also, a lot of rungs. That's some serious upper body strength. We mentioned in the previous episode the Trump checks, and yeah, we're going to call them the Trump checks because it's so hilarious that Trump has managed to turn public opinion. I mean, you can say what you want about the man, but sometimes he does these brilliant PR moves. And getting himself associated with these checks is one of the most brilliant things anybody's ever done in politics. But it turns out when you just flood the world with checks to literally everybody, the online banking system isn't prepared for that.
Online banking struggles as people check for their stimulus checks. Chase, Capital One, PNC Bank, and others have reported outages or other issues as people, literally everybody, is checking to see if they got their check.
If you got 1,200 coming, you're going to, think about how many times you track packages.
Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Why is it taking so long? It says it's out for delivery. Where's it at?
So, if you didn't get one yet, better go check. Check your account.
Over and over. Just hit reload obsessively.
Minecraft is a game that's just unending popularity. It's amazing.
I'm still playing it.
Yeah, everybody is, especially with the lockdown. And of course, we talk about the people are doing libraries in it and mapping the world. It's crazy what's going on. But one of the interesting things about Minecraft is it's so visually simple, and yet people have never stopped trying to make it better visually.
Yeah.
Ridiculously, and just destroying the performance. And this is a great example of people, maybe to the furthest that anyone has ever taken, beautifying Minecraft.
Minecraft with RTX has launched on April 16th, and it is breathtaking. So there's a video here of playing it with RTX. RTX on is so it's ray tracing basically. So things glow, and
Look at that.
yeah,
There's lighting effects, which there have been plugins and stuff to do this before, but it's nice that it's something that you can do a lot easier instead of having to install a bunch of mods to do it.
Yeah, well, it's not real ray tracing, I don't think, what the other ones are doing.
No.
So, also, have you seen that? Like, they're coming out with another Minecraft game, but it's not Minecraft. It's just like a fighter game.
Mojang?
I don't know if it's Microsoft, or I guess it's all going to be Microsoft from now on, right?
yeah.
Oh,
But yeah,
probably.
they're doing the first Minecraft spin-off with another game, but it's just like a dungeon crawler. I don't know if people will go for that because there's really no characters in Minecraft.
No, there's not in Minecraft. I mean, like, your character's name's Steve, but...
Have they ever done a female?
Yeah,
protagonist?
there is a girl now. So it's Steve, and I don't know what the girl's name is. She's got, like, red hair. Alex, I think. Minecraft Steve and Minecraft Alex. That sounds right.
Does that make you want an RTX card, Krista?
Not really. I mean, I play Minecraft mostly just so I can build. I don't really care about that.
Apparently, a 2070 will barely get you 30 FPS.
Yeah.
That's the reason I've never, like, played around with shaders in Minecraft before, because the performance is awful. Like, it's not really playable. It's just for taking screenshots.
Yeah, 2080 Ti is like 1080p 60 FPS with RTX. Like the RTX Quake 2. It's like, oh, I'll try this. It'll be amazing. I'll be able to run it 4K. Nope.
But someday, when the technology moves forward, assuming any of us survive this, we will have beautiful, beautiful Minecraft. and it'll run at 60.
This gilded cage is so pretty.
Try to forget the corpse pile outside.
Outside.
It's that burning sulfur smell that permeates the city. Oh, yeah.
Did you see they're going to start doing the helicopter aerosol in the U.S. now?
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The disinfecting aerosol?
Right. I can't remember which city it is, but there's an American city that's going to start doing that.
New
Krista,
York, right, I would think.
You have a ridiculous fear of velociraptors.
Rappers, yeah.
And we often make fun of that because it's just not realistic that you'll ever encounter one.
But I was
Until
always
now.
scared of them, yeah. Possible dinosaur DNA has been found.
It's like DNA confetti, though. Like, everybody that I've
We're
ever
going to have
known...
to patch it with frog DNA.
Well, everybody I've ever known that's into biology is like, the DNA, even if you find DNA-like material, there's only going to be like 3 or 4 base pairs. It's like DNA confetti.
But they didn't think that even this amount was possible over that amount of time. So we have to rethink how long DNA can survive.
Yeah. This is better than ideal conditions. How is that possible?
Did you know, here's a fact that I saw in a meme that may not even be true. But
Tell us.
The mosquito in the amber, because it was like that big, scary mosquito, is actually a kind of mosquito that doesn't suck blood. So it could never happen.
Oh.
Nice.
According to that meme I saw. I don't question it. Pokemon Go. It's certainly past its prime, but hey, people are still playing it. And people are using it as a way to get through the quarantine, which is weird because you have to go outside. So,
But you don't have to go anywhere crowded necessarily.
well, you can stay in your car, which is what these people did. However, that can lead to unintended consequences.
Neighbor sends Pokemon apology cake after calling the cops. So what was happening? It's like this family was playing Pokemon Go in a neighborhood, and they were driving around and then walking around, and they would get out of the car, and then they would drive around a little bit more. And so some neighbors thought that was weird, so they called the cops. The cops came, and they explained what they were doing, and then the neighbors were like, oh, our bad. Let's make you an apology cake.
Blue Pikachu.
Man, that would just turn your poops crazy colors.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all the starter Pokemon. Whoever made this cake knew their lore.
We actually talked about this last week, just in passing, but the animals are being affected. Now, some people said the dolphin thing wasn't real in the canals, but I think maybe it was
that's a
just
bummer.
fish. I don't know. Definitely, I've seen pictures of deer wandering around city centers. The birds, like the seabirds and stuff, definitely getting more brave. Well, they always were, pests. But the big one is, and the monkeys. Remember the monkeys?
Oh, yeah.
Because the monkeys needed people to survive.
There are multiple sources on that one.
Their world is totally dependent on tourists. And it's just sort of developed over time, a natural thing. And nobody thought about what happens to the monkeys when there's no tourists.
When the tourists go away.
Well, what happens to the rats when there's nobody throwing food away?
Starving, angry, and cannibalistic. America's rats are getting desperate amid the thing that's happening. So, yeah. There's some pictures here. The pictures that I saw were in New York, and they were just, like, in the middle of the road because there was no traffic.
So the way, I don't think they have the group pictures in this one, but the way they explain it is that rats naturally, when they get this, like a crisis like this occurs, they will form groups, which they refer to as armies. And
of course,
they can smell like the tiniest little scent of food particles. So the armies will go toward the food particles. So if there's one restaurant that's still in business and still putting garbage out,
food truck,
the rat armies will battle relentlessly over that garbage pile. And only one will win. All the others will be slaughtered. It's dark times for the rats.
Pretty sure one of those press photographers could go just get a large pizza from somewhere that's open, take one piece, just throw it down in the street and wait 5 or 10 minutes, and then it'll just be like, 50 rats coming out.
What if they come after your ankles after that?
That's even more good press photography.
what if this is like some sort of, weird warning to the people? It's like you're going to be the starving, angry, and cannibalistic rat.
Yeah.
as things go on.
Oh, I could totally see that. Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, people are so self-centered. They're going 5 deep to Lowe's. Of course they would kill me.
Yeah.
They'd kill me for a pack of Oreos. I don't have any doubts about that at all.
Sad, but probably true.
Yeah, definitely.
I think also Lowe's is getting a lot of that business because it's one of the very few places that are open.
Yeah, oh, we got to get out of the house. The kids are going crazy. Let's go to Lowe's.
Yeah,
You could go to like, and I've been meaning to do this, but I haven't done it. I've been meaning to go to like local garden centers instead. Because I bet they're less crowded.
The crazy thing about the whole Lowe's thing is they will bring you, like if you need to order something, like if, you know, your water line breaks and you need to get like a shutoff valve or something, they will bring it to you in your car. You just order it online and then you get outside and then the app, you're like, I'm outside. And they're like, all right, we'll bring it to you. And you don't have to go inside.
Yeah, but then you can't get your kids out of the house for a couple hours. Calm them down.
Is there a way to involve those people directly in the purge? Like, could we use the data from the location app to be like, I'm sorry, you've been, congratulations, you've been selected for the purge. Wait.
Yeah, you put out on social media, it's like, don't come here, but we've heard that they're giving out free food at this location, and then as they come up, you just shoot them. Or you poison them with the free food. Although we shouldn't waste food.
I was thinking of more like some military application where they're just vaporized, so the people that are operating the machinery don't have to be faced with the aftermath of all of the death. They're just not there anymore.
You could do the German thing and make one prisoner execute the other prisoners for favors.
Oh.
I mean, it worked out for a little while. They had to go through that trial afterwards. So, there's that. And our final story is I personally love to end on a sex robot story. Because it's always...
This one's sad, though.
It's always fun. Well, it's sad, but
sad
you know what?
multiple ways.
It's not like they're going to be kept apart, It's just that they can't make it legal till all this is over.
Bodybuilder postpones wedding to Love Doll amid the outbreak. So he was going to get married to his sex robot, but
her name is Margot. She's Stacy's cousin. Stacy's very upset about this because she really was looking forward to the wedding.
She was invited. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
So he posted on Instagram. Oh.
Did it freeze?
Oh, it died.
I don't know. I don't think it did. No, it's still running.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think we got away with that one. But yeah, he posted on Instagram of both of them wearing masks because, of course, gotta be careful. You don't want your doll getting the thing. I guess technically it could live on her for 14 days, couldn't it? There they are. Look how happy they are.
That's something.
When poor people do it, it's wrong. When rich people do it, it's eccentric.
Is he rich? I guess he's got plenty of Instagram followers. That's kind of like money, right?
We've got a lot of followers on Twitter. I don't think that really counts.
I think
as
it did
anything.
say he was some kind of TV personality, right?
Bodybuilder.
But also,
Oh yeah. He's
like a host or something. I don't know, but the interesting thing about it is the people on social media seem to be like really supportive of this. So I think it's becoming more and more socially acceptable.
Is he the world's first robosexual?
It's certainly not the first.
Yeah, this whole website's devoted to that. This is going to be a good one to have on my search history.
I didn't notice this was the future of sex.
Yeah, and it's all like all the sidebar ads are for.
Let's just take a quick look at some of their virtual lap dances. That seems silly. There's a lot of stuff about the virus.
This whole thing is a little silly.
VR sex. Oh, okay. Virtual orgies. How does that work? Adult
real
and
doll ad.
childlike sex dolls. I want to wrap it up right there.
Yeah, let's not go down the sidebar anymore.
Meanwhile, they reach under the desk and grab a can of gasoline and just pour it out on the
Maybe you know what? Maybe we deserve
see y'all
this
next
quarantine. Bye.